Welcome back, students. So as I was saying that Redox reaction is not like that I only balance the number of atoms of oxygen, hydrogen or any other atom, but I also have to balance the number of charges, the positive and the negative charges for both LHS and RHS side. So for that I will be using the concept of oxidation number which we have studied in the last part, okay, and how I will apply it, you please check this out. So let's start. So guys, now we'll discuss how to balance the chemical redox reactions, okay, which I was saying that it is the most important part which JEE is going to ask, okay. It is the most probable part where from this topic the question will come in JEE. So we have to understand this very clearly. What is balance? How do we balance redox reaction? Okay, there are two types of it. Let's see. So to make calculations in redox titration, obviously you need what? A balanced chemical equation. Now, for example, if I want to say balance this following reaction by heat and trial, so what could be the possible answers? The possible answers could be these two. Means if you just go through the balance the number of atoms from LHS and the RHS, okay, then you can get these two equations, but this is not correct. None of them is correct actually, because for this reaction the correct answer is this. Now how do I obtain that equation? Because in redox reaction I don't only have to deal with the number of atoms, I have to deal with the charge calculation as well. I have to balance the charge, so that part was missing there, okay. So there are two types now we have to understand. First is your half equation method and next one is your oxidation number method. So let's first learn what is half equation method. So the first step is that I have to write down the reactants and products of the reaction. Means I have to write a skeletal equation out of it. Skeletal equation. This is a skeletal equation, okay. MnO4 negative plus H2O2 gives you Mn2 plus O2. This is one of the skeletal equation. Then I have to identify the species which is undergoing the oxidation and the reduction part, okay. So two things are important here. These two things I have to identify from my equation, and then I have to write the first of all unbalanced equation. I just have to search that which is my reduction part, which is my oxidation part. Now you see that here MnO4 negative is getting reduced to Mn2 plus, and here it is getting oxidized to O2 because here it is having -1 charge, here it is having 0 charge. So my reduction half equation will be this one and oxidation half will be this one. These are the two halves which I will take, okay. So that's why this method is known as what? Half equation method. Then I have to balance both these half equation method from these steps, because first of all I will balance number of atoms, okay. So let's balance it. It's like this. Then balance the oxygen atoms by adding H2O molecules, okay. So then the equation will become this one, because I'm having what? 4 atoms of oxygen here. So for 4 atoms of oxygen here I have to add 4 H2, okay. Then now I will tell you that at last how I will balance the hydrogen, okay, don't worry. Now then balance the hydrogen atoms by adding what? H plus ions. So this is your first equation which is balanced by atom, okay, which is balanced by the number of atoms right now. Now balance the charge. So to balance the charge, what I have to do? I have to add the number of electrons wherever I have deficient or like that. So I see that here 8, then 7, so here 2, so I have 5 electrons gap here. So if I add 5 electrons gap, it will be maintained. So similarly I have to do it for the oxidation half as well. This is the oxidation half and this I will get the equation. Now what I have to do? I have to cancel out the number of electrons from both those equations. So to eliminate the number of electrons from both those equations, I have to multiply by some particular integers. Okay, so the first So here you can see, here I'm having 2 electrons, here I'm having 5 electrons. So if I multiply this by 2, so that will come 10 electrons total. If I multiply this by 5, so that will come out to be 10 electrons. So then they both will get the cancel out. So that's what I have to do. 10 electrons here, then 10 electrons here. Then I will add them up and I will get my resultant balance equation, which was this. So this is how I did obtain the balanced redox reaction. Then the second method is your oxidation number method. Again, here also you have to first write the skeletal equation. Then you have to indicate oxidation number of every element, okay, above it, okay. And then you have to calculate the increase or decrease in the change in the oxidation number. Suppose there it was going from +7 to +2, so 5 change. And the direction part was from -1 to 0, so one change. So that is increase or decrease change that you have to calculate. And then you have to multiply to get the number of charge change equal. And then you have to balance all the atoms other than first hydrogen and oxygen, okay. And then for hydrogen and oxygen, you have to again add water, okay, water molecules by hit and try method. Not hit and try, you can calculate it. And this 7th step is very, very important step because it depends upon which media you are taking, okay. If suppose it is an acidic media, then you have to balance oxygen atom first by adding water molecules, okay, molecules it is written, it is actually what, water molecules only, on oxygen deficient side, and then balance the H atoms by adding ions, means H plus ions, okay. And if it is a basic media, then you have to add H2O molecules, okay, to balance the oxygen, and then twice ions means what, your OH negative you have to add that side. So this is how I balance the redox reaction by these two ways. One was what? Half equation method, and this is oxidation number method. I hope you get it. Okay, you have to practice more questions over it so that you become confident. So students, in this part I told you about the two various methods. How do I balance any redox reaction? One was your half cell reaction method and one was your oxidation number method. So this half equation method and oxidation number method, sometimes what will happen, once this method will be very easy, in the next time that method will be easy. So you have to yourself decide that I have to proceed through which way if nothing is asked in the question to make the question very simple. Now in the next part I will be telling you more about the application of oxidation number in the form of equivalent mass and the law of equivalence, which is one of the very important concept in the chapter of some basic concept of chemistry as well, where we used to calculate the normality. I hope you remember that thing. So let's just stay tuned with me for that, for the next part.